Welcome. I hope you're all well. Sorry about changing the time here a few times. I do apologise, but it's nice to see quite a few of you in, still being able to make it, so that's good. So let me know, is the the music too loud? I feel like it's really loud today, but if it's not, that's fine, don't worry. So okay. Oh, I didn't have cards. I don't have cards. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me see. We'll use these three today. So we have Druid Wisdom. We have the Chakra cards, and we have the Akashic Tarot. So we have 3 cards. So, as always, questions for the crystal ball, absolutely fine. If you are new, or you haven't been in since the emoji system, it's one question per emoji, but you can ask for a card as well. So you can ask for a card as well as your question. But one question per emoji, just to give everyone a chance, and also to make sure that I'm only reading for people who are still in, basically. So we have Akashic Tarot, Chakra cards, and Druid Wisdom. I know it's not a lot, but I hope it's better than nothing, I hope. And you don't have to ask for a card, of course. Crystal ball, you guys usually prefer the questions. So let's get into it. Okay. Okay, so trying to itch through my heart. Let's see. Who are we on with our first question here? Don't want to fall too far behind. Kritika, will I clear my UGC next RAF exam above 170 marks? My exam is on the 18th. Okay, let's check this. I guess a yes on that one. Best of luck. Best of luck to you. Jan. Why does Caden suddenly pull back? After our call on the 11th, we were calling nearly daily, and he's, for the most part, been isolating now. Hasn't answered my texts in 2 days. Okay. So, what's coming through here is there's a great nervous energy around him, surrounding what seems like it was likely maybe your last communications or last call or something like that, or one of the last, because it does seem like there's kind of, there seems a little bit like there's encouraging himself, how can I say it, like encouraging himself to say something, you know, almost like bigging himself up in a way, like kind of, yeah, like preparing himself to get a bit deeper, preparing himself to open up a bit, and then nerves have come around that, and he's for initial pulling away. It seems to be the case. I don't know if there's other things, other plans or things that have gone on in keeping him away for so long, because it definitely doesn't feel like he intended to stay away for a prolonged period of time, but it does feel like there was a stepping back and distancing himself through these initial nerves. Ooh, that threw me off. It's like a little mark on that. But yes, that's what's coming up there with initially pulling away. So you say 11th. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, I'm sure you will ask about the next time of communicating a call, or things coming closer together again. I'm sure we will check that. Oh, I'm hearing like a strange noise. Pooja, why Anshul cannot move on from our connection? It was just a year and a half relationship. That. So a year and a half relationship that was 15 years ago. So why he cannot move on from the connection? Okay. There does seem to be there does seem to be quite a bit of what you might say bad luck, in a sense, like not having the greatest luck, or not having the greatest, at least in a relationship aspect, at least in the kind of connections aspect. There does seem to be a bit of kind of I wasn't really say comparing, but there does seem to be a things not quite having a spark, or not feeling quite as drawn or connected or attracted, maybe, you know, in those later relationships. So further connections, not having too much of a great connection to him, or a great energy to him, you know. Delphine, where will I meet my future husband? Do you still see me getting engaged by the end of this year, beginning of next year? Okay. So the meeting does seem to be the meeting seems to be at a kind of outdoor kind of, I don't want to say like social gathering. Yeah, I think social gathering would be the right way to say it, because it doesn't look like a huge event, like a bar, or like festival or something like with a lot of music. It seems to be quite casual, but it does seem to be like there are perhaps your friends, his friends, things like that. But it does seem to be an event, so it does seem to be something, some kind of social event, some kind of purpose for it. Not like a huge festival, but something, whether it's like an interest, something you're all interested in attending, um, a small party, small gathering, small event. But it does seem to be more, it does seem to be outdoors. There's outdoor aspects to it, an outdoor element, but it's not like festival or like music kind of based. But it is an event. Um, so it's interesting. Seeing outdoors and seeing an event, and it does seem to be you're both there in groups of friends. So it's a very kind of casual meeting in a sense, like not like you're looking for someone, like that's why I'm not feeling like it's at a bar or of an event like that, because it doesn't seem like there's an intention to go out and meet someone. I know not everyone at bars does that, but it's kind of a big thing with bars. But it does feel like there's not a real intention. Like you're there with your friends, he's there with his friends, you haven't met online or something like that. It does seem it's a casual thing. It's not like meeting at work or something like that. But it is an event of some sort. I just don't feel like it's a really big music or drinking kind of thing. More relaxed kind of event, shall we say? You know, um, yeah. And it seems to be the approach, the meeting does seem to be quite casual, quite relaxed. Not, you know, neither of you going out really looking to meet someone. Very relaxed, very casual, coming across each other's path and being kind of uh, fated meeting kind of sense, drawn into that conversation in that moment. Um, Potentially could be like one of your friends knowing one of his friends or something like that. But I don't want to confirm that because I'm not really seeing that. Not seeing that explicitly, but there is some element of coming across each other in a natural way. So not online dating, not that kind of thing, but yeah. So that's what I'm seeing there with the meeting. So the meeting, but it does seem to be, yeah, like I said, like outdoor kind of thing, outdoor event. Um, and do you still see me getting engaged by the end of the year or beginning of next year? So I'll check that. Beginning half of next year, so the beginning half of next year. But I'm not really feeling like the end of this year, um, right now. So maybe that's swayed a little bit. Not really feeling that. It does seem to be more the beginning part, if not half of next year. Um, Excuse me. Alright, so I'm just going to open the window a moment. It's so hot, it's so warm here. Sorry. That's Leon. Hello. So then we have Benita, what will my future spouse's personality be like? Okay. So, a very friendly person with a lot of friends. So, this person does seem to have a lot of friends, not necessarily so much of a small circle. You know, I mean, a lot of us have all like close, small circle, you know, of people that we're close to, but it does seem to be a very wide kind of friends group of people he knows, you know, knows in person. I know we all have tons of friends online, um, but yeah, so I'm seeing that first. So there seems to be a little bit as well of more on maybe not necessarily a negative note because it's not really intense, but maybe just a little something of the shadow that might need work. Is a bit of a temper, a little bit. Um, so don't feel like it's super, you know, um, violent or anything like that, but a little bit, maybe a little bit of growth there. But it does also seem like there is a drive and willingness in working on oneself, and it does seem to be energy put into that. So motivation and energy put in to working on himself. So that seems like a positive, like keeping things like that in check as well, or trying to keep things like that in check. Yeah, and I don't see it as being like a huge thing, like I said, like a violent thing, but it does seem to just be a little bit of something there, like um, having a short temper at times. But I'm really getting this working on themselves energy though that extends in all areas. So in terms of always working at work, always working at improving all areas like hobbies, hobbies, creative side, friendships, really intending to put work into everything. So always trying to grow, which is really positive. It also seems to be like a really great humour as well. There seems to be a little bit of difficulty in fully winding down and fully relaxing. So it does seem like there's there's a very go like motivated energy, almost like a maybe a little bit of a workaholic at times. And sorry, I got distracted by a notification. A little bit of a workaholic at times. So yeah, there is this really go kind of energy, um, in all areas. And this willingness to kind of grow as well, it does seem to extend to wanting to like see the world, explore the world, go to different places and all of that. So although there doesn't seem to be it's not like a traveling kind of thing. It's not like a wanderlust kind of energy, because there's a lot of stability. There's a lot of kind of grounded in the physical realm. You know, working, being very stable, um, making sure there's earning and a roof over, you know, your heads and things like that. But going on holidays, you know, throughout the year and things like that. Um, there's some things that are coming up there. Thank you, Jasmine. Um, Jasmine, what's our first thoughts? And oh, let's see, when should I change the emoji? Let's see where we are. So what I'll do, let's see. I will just change it now, but I will wait till I've got a little bit further down the yellow heart this way, until I change it again. So, Jasmine, what are Phil's thoughts about me right now? And is he becoming attached to me now that we've become intimate? Okay. Yeah, there's a really positive energy, and there feels to be here a little bit of a more relaxed energy. So it seems to be a little bit kind of like relaxing into this connection, like relaxing into the realizations, you know, like I don't want to say coming to terms with, because I don't know if that's the right kind of things to say, but you know, realizing, should we say, that this is kind of long term forefront, can be a very long term forefront kind of thing. There does seem to be, perhaps I would say, like a greater realization of this, and a kind of a relaxing into it is what I want to say, almost like I don't want to say acceptance. So you know, yeah, I think acceptance maybe is the right thing to say. Like coming to the realization of it and kind of thinking, this feels right. I think that's what I mean when I say relaxing into it. You know, like really feeling a bit more of a comfort, and like just like it feels right. I think is like the the best way to say it. Then maybe it feels like that now, but I don't know if there's like a little bit more of a process into this, like relaxing just a little bit more, like it's slightly gradual, but it doesn't feel to be a long process. It doesn't feel to be like it's really gradual now. It feels like there's a, although it's a relaxing into it, like it's kind of smooth and not quick, which I know, you know, it hasn't really been quick, but it does feel like it feels like there's realizations that are being made quite quickly. So although there might be a little bit of a process still in fully not accepting sounds wrong, but what I'm trying to say is it seems like these coming to terms with things is kind of, the switches are going in his mind and he's rarely kind of recognizing it now. So even though there still might be a little bit of a process from here, that process won't be very long, is what I'm trying to say. So I hope that makes sense. The process from now won't really be particularly long. So yeah, becoming intimate, being intimate, I'm sure with each intimate moment it will settle in more. I'm sure that, you know, an intimate moment could kind of help to switch on, you know, some of these kind of switches and these realizations, but it does seem like it's rarely coming, you know. Ultra Ego, hello. Does Tamsin have secret feelings for me which she doesn't show? Okay. No, I'm not picking anything up for secret feelings or anything that's really beneath the surface. No, I'm not picking anything up for that. Kevin, what are A's thoughts and feelings about me recently? There seems to be quite positive thoughts. There seems to be quite positive thoughts, and it does seem to be. There seems to be, and I know that we've seen this before. A kind of, how can I say, like, gently trying to bring you up in a conversation. So, in a sense, like, not trying to make it like super awkward, but trying to bring you up in conversation a little bit. You are on the mind a bit often at this point. Swetha, do you see me getting a job in Cap Gemini company? Okay, let's see. Okay, so it does look possible. What I'm seeing, so it it's difficult to say if this is most prominent or not. So it's really looking like it's maybe a little bit more than 50%. Like, you want to say it's a little bit more, but it's really not a huge prominent path. You know, it's not like the 90% prominent path is yes, and there's only a small narrow chance of no, which ideally for an opportunity we want is, you know, we want it to be 90 or 100, kind of on the percentage scale, if you will. But there's definitely a possibility of it. There's definitely a chance there, but we just have to be quite honest about the energy of that. There definitely does seem to be a chance, but it's not like a resounding yes, if that makes sense. There's a possibility that it may be a no. Liz, how is A thinking and feeling about me currently as we're in no contact? Okay. There's a little bit of negative energy in there. There's a little bit of kind of, maybe I would say anger there. Although it doesn't feel like super super strong. It's kind of why it's negative, but it isn't really, it isn't super strong. It's negative. Maybe a little bit of anger, or I don't know if I could say feeling maybe there does seem to be some level of like hurt or let down or something. I want to say that it's not as strong as anger, but there's definitely a negative emotion there that isn't just, it's not just kind of like a we don't match, I don't really gel with you, you know? But I definitely wouldn't say it's like hate. But so there is like something negative there, but it's, you know, kind of like a dislike kind of energy, but it's just not super strong. But there is noticeably something negative there. There is something negative. I don't want to, you know, gloss over that or like sugarcoat that. But it doesn't feel super strong. There is something, or shall I say, there perhaps is something to work on. There perhaps could be something to work on. There perhaps is an energy that there could be rebuilding or something with that. It doesn't feel like I'm completely done. I'm angry. I'm like, you know, hate. You know, hate's a very strong word for this. It doesn't feel like that, but there is noticeably something negative there, is what I would say. Sadia, I want to know about my online. I want to know if your online business will be successful or not. Okay. Yeah. So I'm getting like maybe 70-80% on this, so it does look like there's a pretty decent chance of this. But I'm also seeing that there does seem to be like quite a bit of trial and error with this. So it certainly doesn't seem like it's a super smooth sailing kind of journey. But with the, I know, we want 100% rarely when we're looking at these, but it's definitely a good percentage. It's definitely, there's definitely a prominence. There's definitely a positive possible prominence there. So I suppose with seeing the kind of trials, tribulations, trials and tribulations. I would say to, and I'm sure you won't anyway, but to not kind of work through those hurdles, don't feel too disheartened at different hurdles. Just look at things from a different angle maybe, because it does seem like there is something to work with there. Daniela, hello. No contact. In which month does he unblock me to contact? Okay, so in which month do you see contact? Okay. Okay, so most prominently at the moment is looking like end of August. That looks most prominent right now. McHannah, any card of your choice. Okay, let me go with. Uh, Chakra, I think. Yeah. Completion. Okay, so there are two things that this can mean. So we're seeing completion and it's a chakra card. So the colour of the card is very important. We have the orange, so we are looking at the sacral chakra. And when we have completion in the sacral, so this can mean two things. One thing can be that it's an intimate relationship. So because we have the intimate relationship and the creative energy in the sacral chakra. So if we're looking more at on the intimate relationship side, what we see is that someone who you've been intimately connected with, so whether that's an ex that you're not quite over, or a current person who maybe things are rocky with or something like that, it's about releasing, completing something, completing. So releasing that person from the past, if it's someone from the past that you're hung up on, or completion of perhaps a kind of current relationship, can be completion of a current relationship, or just needing to release the past. That's if we're looking at the intimate connection with this card. It can also point, like I said, to the creative energy, the creative side. And what it means when we look at it from this respect is we have something that we either did in the past and stopped doing, or an idea that we had in the past to begin. So it's usually a creative hobby or creative job. So it could be a job that you did in the past. Maybe you loved it, but it was temporary, or maybe you loved it, but it wasn't the right time and you had to go do something else. Or maybe it's an idea. So you had an idea of a creative hobby that you wanted to do. A lot of people think one day I want to do painting, one day I want to knit or crochet or something. A lot of the time we have these thoughts that we want to do those things, but they're just thoughts. We don't go ahead and make the step to doing them. And this card is telling you to make the step to do those things. So completing things that are on the back burner, basically. Completing things that we've kept in the back of our minds and not really started, you know? So think about what resonates most for you. Does it resonate that you need to release a relationship, or does it resonate that you need to get back into a creative hobby? And learning an instrument is a big one with that card. Like a lot of people, they pick up an instrument, they learn like a few chords or a few song or two, and they don't stick with it. So if that's you, Sarah. So what's Richard been doing and thinking about today? Okay. Okay, so there's time spent with a friend. So I think this is in person, but this could be a call, or you know, if they've been playing like a game or something, it could be voice call, something like that. But it does seem to be communication, like talking quite a lot with this friend. And there's also been something being done, something doing something for his mum. So it seems to be like um, not a favor, like something in the house. So doing something in the house. I think it's fixing something in the house, in his mum's house. And sleeping. I'm thinking sleeping as well. I don't know if this is like taking a nap or having a lie in, I'm not sure. But definitely some sleeping in the daytime. Thinking about you said as well. Yeah, there is some thinking about you. There's some thinking about you and some thinking about your children as well. Yeah, you've been on the mind. Faza, hello. So I'll go over this just in case anyone is new. So, Faza, it's specific questions, or a Faza and anyone else who's like quite new to the crystal ball stream. It's specific questions for the crystal ball, so we ask specific questions, so everyone gets a turn. Um, so specific questions, you can ask as many as you like, and they don't have to be yes or no questions. But but yeah, asking just for a crystal ball reading, it could be too long per person. It could be too long for each person. And I'm usually on, so crystal ball stream usually on between 2 and 3 hours. And my readings, my crystal ball entire readings, usually at least half an hour. So I can't do that with each and every person. But I will pull you a card. So let's see. I am thinking, um, um, I'm thinking of doing a Acacia. Should I do Acacia? Acacia or Chakra? You only have 2 cards. I think it's just to shuffle this deck. I picked up 2 cards, but I didn't feel drawn to those. There you are. So you have Add Some, so this is your Acacia tarot card. Oh yes, if anyone's new. We have Druid Wisdom as one tarot deck. We have the Chakra cards as another tarot deck. And we have the Acacia, which is what I'm holding now, as the other one. So this one, which is Add Some, and you have it upside down, which I find really common, this card. I'm going to put it the right way back in the deck. It comes out upside down quite a lot. But the meaning for this card is that your guides, so if you look at the card, there's a person who represents you in the center, and there's angels, there's fairies, there's like ancestors, passed over loved ones and things like that on the card. And what it's showing you is that you have your spirit family, your spirit team there. So it's a positive message that they're there, but they're trying to give you a message. They're trying to give you a message and it's not quite getting through to you. And that is why the card's upside down, because it's not quite getting through to you. They're there, they are sending the messages. You might be someone who notices like signs and synchronicities and things like that, but they could be trying to send you a more specific message about a specific thing and it's not quite getting to you. So I'll put that back there. Mega, what are R's current feelings and next actions towards me? Okay. And hello. So feelings do seem positive. There is a lot of positive emotion there. There is like a feeling of being connected. I would say that there is a little bit of distance. Especially I feel like I've been in most recent streams where I've checked on your connection. I felt kind of like a slow and steady kind of improvement, kind of you know, a nice progression, an upward progression, if you will. This feels a little bit, maybe like there's been a little step back or a little hesitation. It just feels like there's a little bit of distance. It feels like it's not quite going as quickly on that upward progression right now. It doesn't feel negative. It doesn't feel like there's, you know, anything really bad or like having doubts about the whole connection or anything, but it does feel like there's a little bit of a step back or a little bit of a distance there. Just kind of checking on the fruit because I know there's been a block there before, but it seems okay. It seems okay at the moment. It doesn't seem like there's a block, but it does seem like maybe a little bit of at least coming to a standstill a little bit as opposed to keeping on that progression. Because it does feel to be a little bit of distance. So I don't know if there's been less communication recently or something like that. But it looks that way. Next actions, okay. Yeah, there just doesn't seem to be much of like a plan of action, if that makes sense. So, whereas, you know, a lot of the time I see things like wanting to deepen the connection, wanting to, you know, spend more time physically together and things like that, it just seems a slightly little bit stagnant, but, yeah. it just seems like there isn't much of like a plan of, you know, inviting you out or inviting you over or suggesting this, suggesting that. Um, I wouldn't say that there isn't intention to deepen the connection. Yeah, I wouldn't say there isn't intention, but with the distance, it just feels a little stagnant at the moment. Alisa, hello. Will I be able to fix what I lean the healer damage in my body? Or will it be another healer? Eileen block me. Oh no. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to read that. I'm so sorry to read that. Yeah, let's check this. So, sorry, I lost the comment for a moment there. So, will I be able to fix what I lean the healer damage in my body? Or will it be another healer? Okay. Yeah, so you can fix it, of course, which I already knew. I already knew that you could fix it, but I just wanted to check if it's kind of that, like you said, you know, would you have to go to another healer, or is it something maybe you could focus on yourself? And I do feel that you could. So I do feel that, you know, it's possible. It's possible, and maybe there's some benefit in having someone help a little bit, but it doesn't seem like you can't do it if you don't have someone help a little bit. So it might help, or it might, you know, help things faster, should we say. But I definitely don't think that you absolutely have to. You very, very well could do some practices, do some, you know, work on your meditations, work on your own kind of things. It is possible, I feel. It is possible. Tatiana, it's nice to see you. Yeah, so I'll pull your cards and see what you get. Yeah, we'll do. I'm feeling a little bit. If I dip my sleeve in my drink then, I'm not feeling like the cards are properly aligned, because I picked two up with phaser and it just didn't feel right. So let me just try again with these guys. Those back there. Take one. There you are. So you have the lookout. So the lookout's interesting. I always find the lookout interesting because if you look at it, it looks like a very scary scene. There's fire, this guy, he's on a ship, and it's just burning around him. So initially when you see that, you feel like it might be not great. You feel like that might not be the best card to get. But we see him, so he has his binoculars, and he's looking into the distance. And what he's seeing is his goals. So he only has his goals in mind. His sight is set through those binoculars to his goals. And the ship is burning around him, but with him, he knows how long it's going to take him to get there. He knows that he is just about making it to this destination, and that's all he cares about. The things that are falling around him, the ship and everything that's on fire, represents things that need to be released, things that need to come away from the life path. So that could be, for example, if people who no longer serve you, If people who no longer serve you fall away from your life path, they like kind of, you know, go their separate ways. If you lose a job or step away from a job that isn't really in alignment with your higher path and things like that. So yeah, there can be loss with this card in terms of the things burning. There can be loss with people, with jobs or situations or anything like that. But in the end, what your goals are and what you really want to manifest, that's what your eyes are set on and what your energy is locked onto, and it is what you will get. So it's like almost like the ship is burning away to make room in his life for the better things that he sees on that horizon. So it's actually a very positive card, but there can be some things falling away. So the message there would be to not dwell too much on the things that are leaving, because it's for a purpose, it's for a better reason, basically. Yeah, so when I get to the yellow heart, I will change the emoji again, so apologies, but thanks for your patience. Hello, sweetheart. What is Summit currently feeling for me? Okay. So there are two things that seem to be linked to you, but not quite. So I'll explain them so it makes more sense. So there's one thing that is a subconscious longing. So this is kind of energy of something being missing, something being, you know, needing something but not quite knowing what it is. And then there is also this energy of you coming up on the mind a little bit more often these days, and more the emotions coming with that. So the emotions aren't subconscious when the thoughts of you do come up, but it's almost like not putting these two things together completely. That's how it shows. Stella, I'm sure you've been here many times and it's just been a while. Future spouse reading. There's there's so much that can go into it. So you know, things like some people have asked here, how they'll meet, where they'll meet, um, personality characteristics. Some people ask physical characteristics. You know, there's a lot. Oh, sorry, you put that when. So sorry. I was going to say more specific question, please, if you can, but you've done it. Oh no, you haven't. That's someone else. Yeah. So yeah, with future spouse, there's just so many things that we can look at with that, and that's why I ask for these to be a bit more specific, because there is so much with. Is that really loud? Is that going louder? Because there are so many things, you know, that you can look at in a future spouse reading. I mean, future spouse readings really can. I should do a full stream to future spouse readings because it can be a lot of information. You know, where you meet, when you meet, and what they look like, what their personality's like, what when they propose, when you get married, all those things. So it's a really big kind of thing. I will pull your love card just to make up for the fact that you've put the question in, but we don't have love cards today, unfortunately. Let me see. If someone else asks for a love card, I will go and grab them, but I just don't want to. They're in the other room, so I don't want to go and grab them just yet. Whilst there is quite a few questions, I think. Yeah. Okay. If you send me a Facebook, please message in the chat that you have just in case. Or Facebook or email or whatever it is. If it's for the crystal ball, just message me in the chat letting me know as well. Sorry, sorry for jumping out the chat there. Swati, when will I meet my future spouse? Okay. Okay, so I'm not pinpointing a month there, but it does seem to be before the end of this year. Samira, hello, welcome back. In which month will Harris send me a message? In which month will Harris send me a message? Okay, I'll do that. Guessing the beginning of September at the moment. So I'm sorry to say that. It's a distance away. Anna Creasy, I'm well, thank you. I hope you are. When will I meet my future spouse and any of his physical characteristics you can pick up on? Okay. Okay, I'm guessing 2025, but I'm not getting any other visual other than brown eyes. That's all I'm seeing. And I usually get eyes last or least more than anything else. It's usually hair I get, if anything, comes through first or only. So unsure about that. You can feel free. So when something is a little bit blocked, like it's like nothing more is coming through with it, you are welcome to ask again. Sometimes if I can't get something for myself, I will just leave it for you know a little while and ask again, or yeah, something like that. So I'm sorry about that. It does happen from time to time. You're welcome. Tisha, hello. Seeking guidance on the best way for me to fulfill my assignment of sharing the divine gift with the world. Ooh. Okay, so with this, so what's coming up for me right away here is writing. So writing's coming up for me right away. But what I would kind of ask you with this is, is the question kind of, you want to know about what your, so let me see how I can phrase this. So for example, if you want to share your gifts, do you want to know what your best like spiritual gifts are, or what your best like spiritual gifts, or um because sometimes what people are asking with questions like these are, which spiritual divination or gift or practice shall I tap into to help me with my gifts, or or is it like you want to know whether you should be reaching people online or going one-on-one with people in person? Do you want to know about, if there should be a certain location you should be in that's better for you, or, the best way for you to fulfill your kind of life mission, or whatever your mission, I suppose. There can be so many things to that. So maybe the fact that writing's coming up is kind of like resonating with you in some way. If you have we all have different ways to share. So for example, I share mostly by being online and doing videos and one-on-one sessions as well. But for some people, they put their kind of knowledge and messages through creating songs, and that's another way to write. Is it novels that you might want to write, stories, life experiences, music. So even with writing, there are many things that you could do with that. But is it more about how to develop your own gifts? Is it more about in what way you should reach people? So like I said, online, in person, things like that. Just give me a little bit more information about the specifics you'd like to know about that, and I will happily check. So Jasmine had a dream where he answered the question I asked him that he ignored. What was the dream about? And I forgot some of the stuff he said. Can you rephrase what he said in the dream? So he had a dream where he answered a question I asked him that he ignored. What was the dream about? And I forgot some of the stuff he said. Can you rephrase what he said in the dream? Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's see what we can get for this dream. What was the dream about? And rephrasing what was said. Okay. So there definitely does seem to be an element of picking up on his subconscious, picking up on his emotions, his thoughts, his subconscious emotions, his subconscious thoughts, and all of that in the dream. So it does seem like you have quite a holistic view of him in the dream. It really seems like there was a lot of content to conversation in the stream. So it really seems like there was a lot said and a lot shared, and it does seem like it's really interesting because it seems like he delved in. It seems like he's delving in and out of, and it does seem as well like you're having input as well. So it seems like there's a bit of a back and forth. Perhaps a little bit more of him speaking, but it does seem like there's a bit of a back and forth in the dream. But it's interesting because it seems like he's delving in and out of talking about your connection, talking about um, like real life, like his kind of. There's some reasoning about his life path and his distancing at times, as and decisions he's made in his life. It seems like there's reasoning about things like other relationships and like really kind of in like he's in depth telling you a little bit of not necessarily a life story because it does seem to be quite connection based, a lot of the things that he's telling you, but there's also some things about, it's like he delves in a little bit to past life, talking a little bit about past lives, um, in terms of your connection with him there. So that isn't about other connections. That's just about you two. Um, but it does seem like there's some reason. I wouldn't say like excuses, but reasoning for why he's done certain things in his life, and why he feels like a lot of decisions made in his life had other purposes that weren't about the romantic connection at that time, but other purposes, like being in certain places at certain times, and different life experiences that aren't to do with the actual relationship, if that makes sense. But yeah, it seems like there's. I don't know if you know, like that this much conversation happened, but it does seem like quite an extensive um, conversation. Yeah, quite a lot of it seems to be. So quite a lot of this that I'm seeing seems to be very past focused, but there does seem to be a very kind of matter of fact stating and expressing of emotions, of feelings, and of desires. So it does seem like he's being very forward in this dream about his intentions with you, his intentions with being long term and with staying long term as well. But a lot of what I'm getting from this does seem to be very talking about the past. I'm just going to. I hope I didn't lose my place, but I just want to scroll down here. Yeah. So yeah, really what I'm picking up is like there's quite a lot. Let me see. You said he answered the question that I asked him, and he. So you had asked him a question in reality, and he had ignored it in that moment, but then seemed to have answered it in a dream. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of stuff said in the stream. Um, it's interesting. There seems to be there does seem to be like reasoning about there seems to be reasoning about why not taking you up sooner or taking the connection up sooner and things like that. Um, but it seems like very like an in-depth kind of conversation. So I don't know if there's a certain segment of the conversation. I don't want you to feed me anything or give anything away to me. So I don't know if you telling me the question. I don't want to be influenced by you telling me the question, so I don't quite know what to what to do to try to narrow it in terms of everything that that seems to have been said, because it seems to be quite extensive. So I'm not 100% on that. I will see what you say about it, but if you don't want to give the question, maybe if it's I don't know how to put it. Is it about the past or the present moment? Maybe at least say that. Um, because I will take out the past life things and try to narrow it down if it's past. And see what I can do to narrow down this, what I'm seeing, because there does seem to be a lot that's coming through for it. Pooja, energy check for N, for me, and Akashic Tarot. Okay. And the energy seems to be a little bit stagnant and distant. It isn't necessarily, it isn't negative on either side. So it's not like, as you know, you're not, feeling really negative about him, and he's not feeling negative about you or anything like that. But it does seem to be like there's a bit of a there's a little bit of a backstep, I would say, in how that progression of those thoughts and things like that were going. How there was kind of more forefront thoughts about you. There were more kind of thinking about you, emotions coming up about you, and all of those things. It seems like a little bit stagnant and distant, a little bit there. Akashic Tarot, let's do that. On track. So you're on track. So there's not too much to say about the on track card. It's a nice affirmative card. It does show, of course, being on track. It shows being on track, and it shows things going quite smoothly. But it does tend to point a little bit more to the work, financial kind of path. So there could be, with the on track card, if we look at it, it is a guy waiting at a station with a briefcase, and he's boarding the train. So what this card can sometimes suggest is that there's an opportunity coming to you very soon. It's really, it's like you're waiting for that train and it's just coming and you're about to board it. So positive financial opportunity coming soon. It's usually finances. It doesn't mean that the other areas of your life aren't on track, but it's just usually a bit more pinpointed to money and to work. Olivia, will I find a good job this year? Let's see. Yeah, there's a good chance of this. Yeah. Kritika, what will happen between Anivesh and me? Does communication happen? Okay, so communication. Yeah, it's possible. It's not overly prominent, but there is a chance there. It's not a no. There is definitely a chance of it, but it's not overly prominent. One moment. Delphine, when do you see this meeting with the future spouse taking place? This year? Yes. Bear with me, sorry. Oh, can anybody act? I don't know how to do it. Guys, please can you ask specific questions? Um, Specific questions for the crystal ball. I'm not doing in-depth readings with every single person. It would just take too long. Um, Mecca, who will move to Canada first, me or R? And when? Okay. Okay. R first, and it seems to be before around February, March time. That seems to be like the kind of the last. It seems most prominent to be before then, and that is R, and you do seem to be after that. Let's see how far am I with yellow hearts. Have it only just started yellow hearts? Oh my. um. Went to a new emoji. Jan, what happened between Caden and M during their call on the 5th that caused her to remove his full name and date from her socials? She just has K now. Yeah, yeah. There's recognition of it's like him being a little bit upset by it because there's no because there's no like confirmed relationship. You know, it's not like a there's titles like girlfriend boyfriend. It's not like there isn't a date of like things getting to like any stage, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's I feel as well like with him it's very there is this being very nice and being very accepting and being very like there isn't it's not like when she if she says something that maybe annoys him a little bit or he feels a little bit like she's stepping over that line of acting like it's serious when it's not serious and things like that. Um, there's a real kind of a relaxed energy from him. He's not super like having a go every time. She might say something a little bit implying, you know. So I just it's just kind of like he had a little bit of enough with that. So almost like there isn't yeah, it's not like every little thing that she might do or say affects him or angers him. Or he lets a lot slide, shall we say? He lets a lot slide in that respect. But there is a kind of every now and then a kind of putting the foot down a little bit every now and then. So yeah, um, rejecting in a sense. And a Criti, when am I going to get a new job? Okay. There seems to be a positive opportunity in August time. Benita, why did I feel G's energy out of nowhere yesterday? It almost felt like he was thinking of me in that moment. Okay. Yes, that seems to be exactly the case. Yes. Shweta, how will me, how will be me and Summit as life partners or relationship and compatibility? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of compatibility and there's a lot of support as well. Like, it seems like, you know, you have some people that kind of. I suppose when you have two people. It's interesting because when you have two people who don't really work on growing themselves or kind of, getting to that next level of their life, they go really well together. When you have two people who really work on improving themselves and growing with their life, they go really well together. It's only really an issue if you have one person who doesn't want to grow and one person who does, that there's kind of like an issue. And it seems like both of you you're both very wanting to grow, wanting to improve yourselves, and there is a really big compatibility there, and being supportive of each other as well. Swati, will I travel to foreign countries ever in my life? Okay. Yes, I do see this. Yes. Thank you, Leon. Okay, so Surfer says, bear with me one moment. Surfer says, when can I expect pregnancy? So I do have to say, like, asking when I can expect pregnancy isn't like the worst question really when it comes to medical. But if there's any pregnancy or medical questions at all, I do always try to do a bit of a disclaimer and say, um, that you should always be still having like medical advice and still having like all of those things. So I know pregnancy um doesn't always fall into that, especially not like a when will I get pregnant, but I just always have to make a note to say that in the sense of being responsible and things like that. So when can I expect pregnancy? So looking at your most prominent time of conception. Okay, so 2027 there. Pagasi, what is the reason that my ideal clients do not buy coaching from me? It was suggested that it is my appearance, but not sure what about it that detracts them. Um, I cannot imagine it being your appearance. I mean, of course, I'm going to check the ball, but that sounds so strange to me. What is the reason my ideal clients do not buy coaching from me? It was suggested that is my appearance, but not sure what about it that attracts them. Okay. So I'm seeing a little something about the external energies, which it's in a sense I I definitely don't think that it's your looks at all, but in a from external energies from a spiritual perspective, there can be an essence of looks like that when it comes to that, but it's not really down to that. Our external energies are very much about how people perceive us, but it's not simply the way someone looks. So it's not like someone's physical appearance has this specific energy that is the external energy. It's much more about everything about the energies that. So external energies are just what a person is sending out exactly. So they can be very linked into the throat chakra because of course our throat chakra is communication, and it's an element of communication because it's what the energy we put out, but it can be based on, for example, if I was trying to get clients by making a flyer that doesn't have my face on, I'm still putting out some external energies, even though there's no face, there's no voice, there's not anything like that. So I hope that makes sense in a way of how anything we're putting out that's kind of forward facing to others has this element of external energies. So I'm not, even though external energies are our face, like a photograph of us can emit our external energies, it's not about the way we look. So I'm just trying to, I'm probably confusing you, but I'm not trying to. The external energies. So external energies is what we put out. So for example, going back to my example of using the flyer, if I was using a flyer and whether it had my face on or not, if my sole point at getting to communicate with people for, trying to gain clients was a flyer and people weren't responding to it, then I might think about changing that. Everything we put out has some level of external energy, even the kind of the energy someone exudes, if you will, when they step into a room, that's very much the external energies. So there is a little bit of external energies coming through there, but that ties into everything of how others perceive us, what we emit, basically. So you can work on amplifying those if you do like meditation, if you do whatever spiritual practices or anything that you do, visualization. You don't have to completely understand them or know everything about them. You can just visualize them. If you want your external energies to be white light emitting from you in your vision, then you just imagine that, it's as long as you're symbolically representing your external energies with something and focusing on that. So the external energies can be something that you meditate on, pray on, anything like that. But also what's coming through there as well, I did see something else come through, but I wanted to point on external energies first because to me it's like if I had gone to a spiritual person and they had said it's your appearance and I had asked what you mean by that, I do feel like they could have mentioned my external energies. So I know it probably wasn't a spiritual person that you asked, or maybe it was, I don't know, but because our appearance does kind of tie into external energies, I did want to touch on that, but let me just make sure I did see something else, so let me make sure I can touch on that as well. Yeah, I'm seeing reach. So I'm seeing reach. So what I'm also seeing with that is reach. So in the case of like flyers, advertisements, of course, that can impact. It can impact reach, but I'm also seeing reach as like a separate thing. So reach can be. So for example. So my example might be me trying to get clients works a lot better on YouTube than it does on TikTok, and even though some of my videos on TikTok get way more reach in views than my videos on YouTube, I've never got, I think once or twice got a client solely from TikTok. So it's kind of like, I hope that makes sense. So there's this element of reach. So even if, I'm not saying that you don't get reach, I'm not saying that you might not get, loads of traction or whatever it is. I'm not saying that you don't, but it can sometimes be about the space that that comes from. So, if people were to look at just solely view count on some of my videos, they might think, oh, you probably get more clients through TikTok, but it's just not the case. And I think sometimes our reach can simply just be about, we need to get more reach, we need to get to more people. It can be that simple, just try more and more and more to reach more and more people. But sometimes it is also about where that reach is coming, and sometimes it's the quantity of the people you're reaching rather than the quality. The quality rather than the quantity, sorry. But yeah, so I'm seeing the external energies and I am seeing the reach. So I know I can over-explain sometimes and make things more complicated than they need to be. I do try my best, so I hope that makes some sense to you. So Maya Do you see? Oh, I should really put. So let me just put here. I'm just going to put finishing up here because I don't know how. I've been on for so long already. So do bear in mind. I'll change the emoji here. In case you want to use another emoji. But as I always say, you're very welcome to keep putting questions after the finishing up mark. It's just to bear in mind that it may not be answered after that mark. It may not be answered, but you're still very welcome to put it, and I will check. So let's see where we are here. Samaya, do you see hurdle or success in my next job in the coming months? Okay, so I'm seeing a little bit of a hurdle, and it seems to be a delay. There seems to be a little bit of a delay, but ultimately there is a high energy of success. It doesn't seem like a block, it just seems like a, a delay. So I was going to say speed bump, but it doesn't really even seem like that. It just seems like a bit of a delay in something, but it does seem like there's success and opportunity available to you, which I have seen very regularly. So, Phaser, a tarot card regarding the connection with Archangel Araziel. Okay. So crystal ball again. Not doing angel readings through crystal ball. It's just specific questions for the crystal ball. On today's stream, we can do angel readings one day maybe, or angel channelings or something like that. But let's do. I will do a druid wisdom for you because they're probably the closest to kind of angel cards that we have to hand today. So let's do that. Mirror visions. Are you dreaming or awake? There is more to reality than the one we are taught to take. Add a small dash of mugwort and mint to your tea for lucid dreams. So this is very interesting because actually this is a very interesting message when it comes to connecting with our guides, our angels and all of those things. So actually do see it as a direct message. So mugwort and mint, or mugwort is the active ingredient here. Mugwort is a herb that can help with lucid dreaming, but it can also help with other spiritual things. So it can help with lucid dreaming, it can help with astral projection, and it can just help with the dream practices in general. So what I gauge from this card is that you're going to receive some message from your archangel in a dream. So having some mugwort in the tea to help with your dream practices, to help your dream messages come through is a good thing. But to definitely look out for your dreams at least, because it does seem like your messages are going to come through dreams. So that's nice. Elisa, will Eileen get her karma for dumping me brutally when I needed her to help me, or what happened between us? So, will she have karma? Okay. Yes. It does seem to be somewhat imminent as well. So, one thing I do believe in karma, so even without looking at the crystal ball, I would always say yes to people getting karma for their, negative deeds or um, insensitive deeds or something like that. But in terms of karma on a grand scale, you know, it's not always served within this lifetime. It's not always served within the next few years. So it does seem like it's closer than it is distant, which is probably for the best, hopefully for the best. Livia, will I buy my car this year? Okay, so I'm guessing a no on that at the moment. Um, I really hope that can turn around. I really hope that can turn around. But I'm getting a no on that at the moment, so I'm sorry to say that. Daniela, why does he distance himself from my life after the photos and chat? Why does he distance himself from my life after the photos and chat? There seems to be a preference to somebody else. So I'm sorry to say that. Kevin, what are H's feelings and thoughts about me? I feel like he kind of ignores me and avoids me a lot. Okay, so H's feelings and thoughts about me. It is quite blasé, and it is um, quite a bit of kind of, how do I say, like choosing of spending time with others, talking to others, and things like that. So there is a bit of I suppose, in terms of, or if we were to make a list, there does seem to be like a little bit of disregard, but the energy generally, the emotions, it's not negative. It's not like it's not even really like there's no hate, and it's not even really like I don't like you. It's just kind of this blasé energy, like there's um I'm feeling more of a pull over here. I feel more connected over here. Like there's no negative energy to you, but there's a lot of much more positive energy to others. So definitely like there's favorites in other areas kind of energy. When it comes to friends, when it comes to connections. But it doesn't, like I said, it's not like negative. It's not like I'm actively talking negatively about you or anything like that. But there definitely is like a disregard, so things that ignored kind of comment, it does resonate with what I'm seeing. Rookie, will I be able to go to year one university this September? Just focusing on your full name and date of birth there, as I'm not fully connected with you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm guessing high prominence there. Thank you, Tatiana, thank you. Excuse me. Sarah, what's Richard's thoughts and feelings towards me and us? There really is still a great comfort, kind of like that comfort, almost safety net feeling with you, like feeling safe with you and feeling very comfortable with you and all of those things. There's, I mean, there's always a positive thoughts and positive emotions to you. I just think that a lot of the time his mind is distracted and elsewhere, and he's can be a bit irresponsible. I don't really feel like the intentions or emotions towards you are ever really negative, although they can dip a little perhaps, but I do feel that's, like I said, about those distractions. They seem pretty similar to they always seem. There is that element of your there is the element of you being a safety net, and there is an element of kind of knowing that you'll always be there, even though you won't always be there, but in his mind, you know? That's the downside to it, I would say, is there's almost too comfortable of a relaxation around you being there. Pagati, I did your last question. I saw, yes. Yes. Phaser. Phaser. Oh, yes. It resonated. Okay, wonderful. Oh, which... What is my ex thinking about me? Oh, yes. My question... Oh, yes, it was, the work one that I did, sorry. Um... What, what is my ex thinking about me? Okay. So what's coming through here is this. There seems to be a moment of thinking of how things might be now if you were together. Like thinking, like a little bit kind of like, oh, what my life would be like now, or what things would be like now. And then there's kind of like a catching himself, like thinking that, and then kind of wondering about how you're doing. So that's what's really coming through there when I'm tapping into that. Theodora, can you tell me if the right job opportunity is already here or I still have to wait? Okay. It seems more like just around the corner than here right at this moment. It seems like just around the corner. So it does seem soon, even you might say in this current period, but it doesn't seem like right at this current second. Um, so if you want me to, if there's something you're really thinking about, if you're wanting a, how can I say, like a double check affirmation confirmation kind of thing, feel free to tell me the whatever it might be that you might want to say, like job title or what, anything that would pinpoint the specific thing that you're thinking about, the thing that that you have in mind, and I will double check on that. Tarot card, yes, I'll do Akashic because should I do Akashic? I'll do Akashic because I have Akashic here. Okay. So we have the King of Roses. So the King of Roses is very nice. So we're tending to look at a romantic connection here. So we're tending to look at positive romantic relationship on the life path. So it's not to say that this is new or that it's old. We can get this if we're already in a relationship. We can get this if we are coming into a new relationship. But there's definitely a element of more time, more romance, more passion, more energy. If it resonates more for you that you're in a relationship, you're not looking to be out of this relationship and into this new relationship, then the element that we see here is much more of a attention to the relationship. It can even be like reigniting like a spark, reigniting a spark, rekindling in a sense, much more romance, more positive energy, more attention. So romance and attention are the main energies with this card. From the partner specifically, or from the new interest, if there's a new interest. But yeah, there's a lot more attention and a lot more I keep saying energy, a lot more attention and a lot more romance coming in with this card. Yeah, so I'm feeling maybe it's like a bias thing, but because I know you're in a relationship, maybe it's a bias thing, but I'm feeling that, leaning to it's a deepening of that connection, or a coming more together, or more time, more attention, more romance in the connection that you already do have. I will do as well a Druid Wisdom for you because we have Druid Wisdom here as well. So I'll show you it first, but I will read it out as they don't often focus. Welsh wildflowers. A blade of grass is as beautiful as a petal or leaf. A tender moment is as sweet as it is brief. Carry heather flower for maturity, growth and change. So that's nice as well. Maturity, growth and change, because I certainly feel that you're mature, but growth and change, they're always things that we're seeking for in one area of our life or another at any time, We want more of something, we want something to change, especially with the kind of work aspect on your side. We want growth in your financial situation, your work situation. We want growth, we want improvements and positive energy in the work situation. So that's nice. Kelsey Wells. May I know what are Sven's thoughts and feelings towards me? I don't resonate with your name. I don't resonate with you in terms of like having connected with you before. I do ask for full name and date of birth if you're new, or if it's just like your first or second time in. Don't really feel like I've connected with you before. so I don't know if I can accurately do this question. But what I will do is, in fact, let me see. I just feel like I'm so far from the bottom that some people are probably, there's 16 people in. Oh, I will pull, just in case. I don't want to leave anybody, you see. Kelsey. Oh, my angel trumpet ceremony is playing, sorry. So, what I would say, let's see. I will pull an Acacia. I don't want to hang around too much just in case Kelsey is not here. Pull an Acacia that we have the Queen of Roses. So the Queen of Roses after the King of Roses. They're not in order, honestly, they are shuffled. But the Queen of Roses. So the Queen of Roses is very much, so it's interesting actually because the question was Sven's thoughts and feelings towards me. And the Queen of Roses is very, it's a very kind of like independent card in a sense. It's very kind of like how we have the King of Roses being more about that romantic energy, that kind of, it's the like the, you know, your king kind of thing. The Queen of Roses is very loved, so she is very loved. There is an essence of a romantic partner or a romantic admirer or something. So pulling this for your question, I would say that there are some level of romantic feelings or attraction or something that's on the romantic side. But the Queen of Roses is very much about being really in her power, being very much in, she oftentimes it's like getting her dream home or getting, there's some level of achievement on her side in terms of her own life path as well as this kind of admirer or attraction that is kind of directed to her, but there's also an element of her strength, her own power, and her individual power, her divine feminine, you know, and having some achievement within herself that isn't solely love path based as well. So it's quite a nice one to get. Liz, when will A contact me? Okay. So there seems to be possibility of contact within the next 2 weeks, although it looks very low prominent. I am seeing it. It does look quite low prominence, but there is a possibility of it. So hoping on that for you. Can't believe how long it's been already. Stella, future spouse, physical appearance. Okay. Light brown eyes and dark hair. average build, but a little bit taller than average. So I'm not saying super tall, a little bit taller than average. Very neatly trimmed facial hair, but I do see it, like, not a clean shaven look. I'm trying to get, like, a more defining kind of feature. I'm not really seeing nose shape, but I am seeing particularly kind of thin lips, like quite thin. Thin and small, you know, kind of like a small smile. Yeah, that's what I see. Physical appearance. Swatty, what's S thinking about me? So not, I'm not actually getting a lot of, like, conscious, you know, forefront of the mind kind of thought at the moment, like currently here. But I'm seeing a dream of you recently. Yeah, the seem in the kind of the forefront, like the conscious mind. It there could be some suppression or something, like suppression of feelings or something like that. But it seems to be a little bit not overly thinking about you. Maybe distracted, maybe a bit of suppression, but there isn't a lot of thoughts going on there. But there is a dream coming up there, which does come up sometimes. Miss Venus, hello. Jasmine, wow, no, I didn't know he talks about all of that. Is there a possibility if I ask, I can have the dream again? There's a lot to digest. I only picked up a piece of the dream. It's a present moment question. Oh, yes, of course, because you said answered a question. So you asked a question. Yes. So I was saying, is it about the past? But yeah, you said asked a question, so that makes sense. That makes more sense. Um, yes, I would definitely say at least you have a chunk of the dream that you do remember. Because one, I know this is the lucid dream techniques, but um, part of lucid dreaming technique is, or one technique is to focus on a dream that you do remember having, to try to go back into that dream. And because you do have a chunk of the dream that you remember, you can ask to go back into that dream. So you might find that you kind of have to lie there as you're going to sleep. You will have to kind of go over and over and over in your head that part that you do remember. Um, so yeah, it can be a bit, when you only remember a small part of the dream, it can be a bit repetitive. But eventually, when you fall, you might have to do it a couple of times as well, depending on how your because sometimes we're having dreams that are coming through from our guides or from our higher self that we need to hear, that we need to visualize, or be in the presence of. So it may take a couple of nights to do it, but it's definitely possible. It is a technique that people use when they're trying to lucid dream. It's definitely possible. But I would say, ask your guides, set the affirmation and all of that. But if you can think and repeat over the part that you did remember, then it increases the chance even more so. Miss Venus, so for confirmation, how does Jason feel and think about me? Intentions, please. Okay. Yeah, really, really positive. It's very kind of, like, I would use the word chaotic, but I always think that's like a negative word. But it is very, there's a lot, it's very busy, but in a positive way. Like, there's a lot of positive emotions, a lot of positive thoughts and emotions going on. So don't take that wrong when I'm saying busy. It's not like a negative way, like overthinking or how we might think, but there's a lot of thoughts and feelings. It almost feels a little bit like it's interesting because it really resonates with how I was saying that, or I was picking up, I should say, that things were going to move quite quick with this soulmate person, and it's almost like there's trouble keeping all of these things, these positive things that are kind of brimming to the surface in. So it's almost like it's wanting him to move quickly. It's wanting him, or making him want to move quickly, because there's so much. It's positive. It's like excitement. That's a better way to say it. When we're kind of, you can't contain your excitement, and it's kind of like it's kind of like that, with so much positivity going on. It's really nice. So think and feel. So yeah, so there's a lot of positive things. So things in terms of that it's almost like there feels to be a how can I say it? Remember when I was saying that there was this draw to you, and it was almost like, I'm not someone who is always messaging like loads of girls online, but there's this draw to you that isn't just you're like seriously beautiful, and it's not simply like, oh, I couldn't resist because you're so beautiful. There's this bigger draw. It's almost like feeling like that's why there was a bigger draw, like almost feeling the purpose for that bigger draw, if that makes sense. Like understanding why that was, feeling like there was a point to it. It wasn't just, surface level or anything like that. Like justification for that draw, So it really feels like that. It feels like he feels justified in having that draw towards you because of everything that's happened now, and the compatibility and the feelings that are kind of growing even more, seem like it makes sense that there was that draw in the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, but I would say like feeling, I would really say it is almost like love. Like I know that that will grow and that will develop, and it's not going to be how it is now. It's not going to be how it potentially could be in the future right now, and we always build up the feelings and the emotions, but there's just such a strong compatibility that's so intense but calm at the same time, if that even makes sense. You know, it's very very special. It's and that's how he feels. It's very very special. And how it seems, but how he feels. Um, it's just suddenly gone very very cold. I'm just going to close this window over. Bear with me. Freezing. Okay, Jasmine, so that's your question. Yeah, from what I was picking up, it was definitely going back to, there was much deeper things coming up in the part that I was tapping into, definitely. So I want to make sure I don't, let me see. I do want to check on this. It's so far to go. Um, I know this is really annoying, but what I'm going to do, um, I'm just going to put here. So you will see in the chat that I've put 3 hearts. If you're still in the chat, please put the question you would most like answered. Um, I'm going to do a new emoji. This one. Please put the question you would most like answered with this emoji. And if you're new, please put your full name and date of birth. Your question won't be answered without your full name and date of birth. So please put that in if you are new. I do see a few new people in here, which is nice. It's really nice to see you guys. But I need to connect with your energy. So I always explain it as when you go to a psychic in person, they can connect with your energy because you're there in person with them. But when you are online, they need something. So we need something to connect with. If we don't have a picture of you or full name or date of birth, it can be difficult. So full name and date of birth, please. So after my 3 hearts there in the chat, you can see I've written them in. Put this emoji and the question you most want answered in the chat, because it cannot stay on for too much longer. Because I have to go to sleep. But one thing I do want to say to you guys who were waiting today, I do apologise for today. I did have to move the stream. It was only going to be 2 hours regardless, but I did have to move it, so I do apologise if you were waiting. And actually we've been over 2 hours now. but it was, the initial plan was for it to be 2 hours, should we say. So just one more question per person. But I will be, let's see. Let me just see about scheduling in another stream. Yeah, I'll begin with these. So, but if you are new, do make sure to subscribe, and stay with us, because I do this every week. I'm going to do my best to, you can see the scheduled ones on the homepage. I'm going to do my best to schedule a crystal ball before the next one on the 25th. But if I don't, there will be a pendulum soon anyway, so don't worry too much. There will be a pendulum soon, and I'm going to do some evening pendulums, so you guys, American guys, can make it as well, because I haven't really done any evening ones yet. Shweta, when do you see reconciliation happening between me and Summit? Okay. Okay, so at the moment, most prominently, it looks like April 2025. Swati, will I get a government job in 2025? Yes. Jan, what is it exactly that Caden wants to say to me about and open up about that he's preparing himself for? Will he say, I love you? Okay, so what I saw, so I was just checking on the I love you part there. So what I saw in the initial check was, it was more about being open with wanting like admission of feelings. So I didn't really see I love you as such, but I did see that kind of, I'm not, in a sense, it's kind of, I think that maybe I made a mistake with breaking up. I think that maybe we made a mistake with, not being in a relationship. I think that we do kind of work better not just being friends. Very much kind of like, admission of feelings and thoughts about the level of the connection. So, of course, there's always been a remaining in connection, however distant or close that is. But it does seem like it's not quite the energy of, I love you and I confess all, but is the energy of, I've been thinking about this and this has been on my mind, and very open with that I've been thinking about it, and that, I really need to say it, because I think I want to at least see where you're at and see if we should maybe see how things go and things like that. I don't feel like fully opening up with I love you, but I do feel like making it very clear that it is about the connection in a relationship sense, and preparing himself to. For me, what seems to be the biggest issue with him is saying that this is what I've been thinking about, and kind of, because it's with him, it's almost like he's because he's been thinking about it for so long and he's been pulling and pushing, you know, coming forward and backwards on it for so long, it seems like such a big thing when actually you're there's still a level of friendship between you. He knows that you still have feelings for him. So really, all it really is and all it really should be is, I think I still have feelings for you too, and I think that we should talk about it, maybe have a go of it, and maybe even talk about where we didn't go so right and how we might fix that. But it seems like in his head, it's so much more than that. It's it seems like to him he feels like he would be reeling off a whole essay to you, you know, which I'm sure, you know, I'm sure that with you both having the connection and having the past, it is more complex to you guys. But what I have just said, he could just come out with, but to him it seems so you know, extreme. So it just seems so crazy and so like difficult when actually it's not. Um, so Jamie, um, which are Mihai's intentions about me? Okay, Mihai's intentions about me. So there do seem to be intentions to take things a little bit deeper, take things kind of to the next level a little bit, like deepen that connection a little bit. Um, but there isn't too much in the way of kind of plans. There isn't too much in the way of, yeah, of like how to go about that. It just seems more like wanting to deepen the connection a little bit, wanting to kind of see how things go. But there is a kind of a there's a positive energy. There's a positive energy and a positive intention for the connection. There. Kritika, will Anivesh get a government job, a police officer, or any other, and become financially stable in this year? Okay. Yes. It does seem quite end of the year. It does seem like November, maybe even December kind of time. But I'm getting a yes on that. Swati, relationship compatibility between me and future spouse. Okay. So it seems good initially. It does seem like something that you both work at a little bit. It does seem like, yeah, it does seem like something that you both work at a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's super smooth sailing like all the time. It does seem like there's a little bit of incompatibility in some places, a little bit of compromise going on, but it does seem like there's a, a lot of positivity, a positive trajectory going on as well, and it improves. You know, the compatibility and relationship improves with some compromises. Sarah, what's Richard's thoughts and feelings on baby, and when's he going to step up and help more? Okay. thoughts and feelings are really positive and really kind of like proud and positive and all of that. So let's look at helping more. I get around 2 to 3 months on this. So Fatima, I don't have your full name and date of birth, so I can't really do your question. I don't feel connected to your energy, but I will just do it and see what I get. But please do bear in mind that it's it's much more accurate. So I do ask, guys, it says here, yes, it's free, just subscribe. Newcomers, leave your full name and date of birth with your question. And I ask that multiple times throughout the chat as well, throughout the stream, sorry, as well. And yeah, so it's not going to be accurate, or it may not be accurate if I don't have your full name and date of birth, but I will try it. I will just try it since these are all last questions here. Okay, so Fatima, I get a no to your question, so I'm hoping that that's a better answer if I do get your full name and date of birth. And Pragati, when will I buy my own business laptop? When will I buy my own business laptop or be given one? Okay, so when will I get my own business laptop? So whether you buy or are given one, when will it be? Okay. I'm guessing September there. Phaser. Yeah, I did answer the question. Guys, I'm really sorry when I skip a question. It's never intentional, but it does happen sometimes. I really appreciate you guys understanding and having patience and everything with me. Yeah, it happens from time to time, but I don't intend to do it. Delphine, how will my meeting on the 28th of June go? Will she be supportive and understanding that I need more time before getting back to the office? Okay. Yes, I do get that. So there does seem to be supportiveness and understanding. There does seem to be supportiveness and understanding. There does seem to be a little bit of, it's almost like a little bit of annoyance, but it does seem to come from stress levels. It doesn't seem to be purposeful, if that makes sense. It seems that there is an attempt to be understanding and to be more in that energy. It seems much more on that side. So, wishing you the best. Really, whatever is best for you. Hoping that you get what's best for you. You know, your process, your connections, your support, and everything. I really hope. Good night, Stella. I really wish you well, Delphine. Rish, hello. Career in near future, please. So I'm not really sure what the question is. Are you asking like what your career will be, or are you asking like when you will get a job? I'm not really sure. I'm really sorry. You're welcome, Shweta. Daniela, I've been single for a while. Will I get engaged? You're welcome. You're welcome. So, I've been single for a while. Will I get engaged? Okay. Yes, I am seeing that. And it doesn't seem to be super soon, which makes sense if you've been single for a while. But I am seeing it. I'm seeing positivity around that. You're very welcome. You're welcome, Swati. John. John, yeah. Jamie, you're welcome. Samaya, do you see me restarting my career soon? Yeah, it definitely seems like only a matter of time, and it really does seem like, you know, it doesn't seem like it's super long, you know? So, yes. Thank you, Fatima. Samina, when and where will I meet my future spouse? Okay. Bear with me one moment. Sorry. So sorry. Samina, I was up to Samina. When and where will I meet my future spouse? So I'm guessing May 2025, and it seems most likely to be online. Anakriti, what are these feelings for me? It feels like missing you, and it feels a little bit like regret as well. Emmy, I was wondering what is coming in for me in the near future and what should I know? Hi, Emmy. Hi, I'm really sorry, but we do specific questions for the crystal ball. So, what's coming in the near future? It could open up a whole reading, which could be at least half an hour per person. So we ask specific questions for the crystal ball. I hope that's okay. But I will pull you, since I am heading off now. I will pull you, and let's see. Should I do Akashic Tarot or Druid Wisdom? I'm not sure. I'll do Chakra. I'll do a Chakra card for you. So you have the sword. We also have the solar plexus chakra here. So what we see from this card is that there's someone in your life, or something in your life, where there is some element of putting up a front or something like that. There's some element of something not being exactly what it is or what it seems to be. There's some element of that going on at the moment, and it does show that this life path situation, or this person in your life, could be causing some anxiety. They could be causing some irrational fear. There could be some stress, tension, anxiety, low motivation, procrastination, things like that coming up there. And if you're going to focus on a specific area in your system at the moment, your solar plexus chakra should be focused on. And if you do realise that someone or something isn't quite what they seem, don't worry too much about it, because there is like a positive energy to this card, because when an illusion lifts, when an illusion fades, there is an element of being more centered. So the solar plexus coming more into alignment, motivation coming, self-love increasing, self-confidence increasing, and positive things like that. Self-love, valuing oneself, and so there is a positivity in the sense. It's almost like outgrowing something, overcoming something, and releasing false images of a person or a situation. So it could be something that you don't really recognize as holding you back, because you're not seeing the true or whole picture of it. But eventually this illusion is going to be lifted, and you are going to see the whole picture, and it's going to help you. It's actually going to help you. It's not going to be as negative as it sounds, because it's really going to help you, and you'll come up more into alignment at that time. But what I would say is to focus on your solar plexus if you want to focus on a specific area of your system. Fatima, thank you for your date of birth. Have I met my future spouse already? No, I guess a no with that. You're welcome, Emmy, of course. You're welcome, John. Rish, how will my career be in the near future? Okay, how will my career be in the near future? There's a positive increase showing up at the end of the year, towards the end of the year. You're welcome. Pooja, how is Anne's relationship going currently? Okay. Okay. It seems like working through some things, but doesn't seem too bad. It seems okay. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. It means so much as well to see so many new people in as well. So Love, light and blessings to each of you. I do apologise that I didn't manage to get to all of the questions. Didn't realise it would be that busy. I will hopefully see you very, very soon. Like I said, there'll be a pendulum within the next few days in around the same time as this one was. And I will try to squeeze in, we have a members crystal ball, and then we have the crystal ball for everyone. I'm going to try to squeeze in another crystal ball for everyone there if I can, but if I can't, there will be a pendulum coming up, so you can still ask questions on the pendulum as well. Love, light and blessings to each of you. I hope to see you soon.